You must find the good moods, and then you're like, they'll be like, okay.
Oh, mommy's happy today. Time to strike. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Big Sis. Today we'll be tackling the topic of parents, aka how to get your way from them, right? Kind of.
Yes. And I'm Iman Fandi, and I'm back!
Yes. You saw her previous episode, she's back for another one. Yeah. Okay, how's your relationship with your parents?
Oh, we're gonna go straight into
let's
it.
go.
Not bad.
I feel like, I don't know, because I know you guys out like online and offline. You guys all seem very close. I always thought you guys are like very strong like unit, like family unit.
Of course we have a strong like bond because we have like a family group chat where everybody updates each other. Do you have that? Oh wait.
It's me and my mom, so WhatsApp lah.
So yeah, in a sense, and I think also growing up I have a big family and my brothers and my dad and I would always like travel. So I think in a sense that has allowed us to appreciate the times that we have together.
Yeah, that's so true.
And yeah, everybody's always supportive of like one another, and my parents are always supportive of what the kids do. What about your relationship?
I would say we definitely have like rough patches because it's just me and my mom, so we kind of have like no space. So I feel like with a proper family unit, there's like always someone diffusing, right, if there's a fight. But for me and my mom, there's no like diffuser. And when she goes at me, I go at her, so it's like rah.
So there's nobody to be like the middleman.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I would like not be home a lot. I'll always like be out with my friends, or like staying over with my friends, or like sleeping over at like my boyfriend's house. So that was like my diffuser. However, I think as I got older, like for example, you said like you travel a lot, so you appreciate your parents, right? So when I moved to London, that's when I really appreciate my mom.
Yeah.
Like I miss her, like, and the stuff that she does for me, and like you don't really like notice them, the love that they give you when you're constantly at home with them.
And I think I saw this like online because I love quotes. I saw this and it was like, your parents are also figuring out their life. They're new to what every day will bring. So when we grow up and we become parents, we'll also need to
parent the child, right?
Yeah.
They say the first kid always has it worse.
Is it? I think my older brother is like the one that gets away with everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start on the questions.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, the first question is, how do you transition from asking your parents for permission to informing them?
Oh. So that happened with me as we grow older. Because I think when I was a teenager, like, okay, can I go out? Things like that. I think because, we were younger, they would want to know where we're going and be sure that it's okay. And I think also my parents just want to make sure that we're doing like our studies and schools. But also the way it transitioned into informing them is that we've always had this like habit as a family was to inform them of like, okay, I'm gonna go out and I show them that I will be back by this time, and this
actually
is where
you're a
I'm
really
going
good
out.
daughter, like very like filial and obedient, but like you also do your own thing.
I try. But of course like my dad will always just like keep in tabs.
That's cute.
Yeah, he's like more protective of me, I would say.
I see.
Yeah.
For me, my story is very different compared to yours. By the time I turned like 17, 18, I think she kind of just like let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
But I did inform her as well.
Yeah, I think it's like part of the growing up.
Yeah, you have to let go at some point. Next question, I get irrationally irritated when my mom talks to me sometimes. How do I manage my feelings? Very relatable.
Yeah, very
irritated?
Yeah, not like all the time. I think it just depends. Especially I think when it comes to parents like pull themselves down. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I'm gaining weight, or I have wrinkles and things like that, and I don't think it's healthy for them or also the child, because it can affect the child, because you grow up and you see how your parents are and things like that. So I think doing things like that can affect certain like aspects into a relationship, and that is the part like that sometimes I personally get like not irritated but just like upset about.
So what do you do in that sense? Do you like voice it out?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like also I have to parent my parents in a way, way, and as their children, we also teach them things.
Definitely.
You know,
yeah.
so by voicing out or also saying that, like, no, I don't think you should do that and do this. And sometimes, you know, I had to be strict on certain things. They finally saw that, like, oh, okay, it's somehow affecting Iman, and maybe I should stop doing this and things like that. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's normal to get irritated with your parents, especially your mom, because like in my personal experience, you're bound to disagree with your parents, right? And it's also like time for you to take a step back and like reflect on maybe you want to have more physical or like emotional boundaries with your parents. For me, this year I really wanted to move out because my mom and I kept fighting, but I eventually didn't move out because we started working on our differences. So I learned how to communicate better with her, and vice versa. She also learned how to like manage her feelings a bit more, and also learned how to speak to me in a less explosive way when she's irritated. When they say how do I manage my feelings, it's more of like you have to manage it with your mom, because your mom probably isn't aware that you're feeling irritated, and in that sense she will continue doing the same thing and it will continue to trigger you. So if you have the capacity to voice it out, you can you should. Do you relate to this? My mom cannot stop commenting on my appearance. How should I tell her to stop?
I think moms in particular, you know, they want to help, but sometimes maybe it's said in a wrong tone or way. Okay, an example is like, okay, I know I have a pimple, but she points it out. You know, like things like that. It's like, I already know. I'm
Why must you say?
Like, I'm figuring out, but I know she's just trying to help.
The pimple patch, right?
I already put the cream. I already do as much as I can.
Do you tell her to stop it?
I just say I know. I don't know, because it just comes out naturally for my mom to just like say things sometimes.
Your mom strikes me as quite straightforward.
Yeah, she can be. It's like they just want to help. They want to be there for you, but sometimes it's just not said in the right way that it can
it's more of
affect
like
the child.
antagonizing.
It can sound like that. Yeah.
We have a better relationship now. I also realized that she's just trying to help me because she wants me to look my best, because we're always in front of cameras and stuff. But I understand if you're not like in the public eye and your mom does that a lot, it can be very like
suffocating.
It
can feel toxic,
and it also makes you feel worse about yourself. Oh, this is crazy. My parents don't want me to move out unless I get married first. What should I do? I thought it was very normal to move out before marriage. So for me, it's like I told my TCM, and she was like, "Oh, you're like those like modern type." Like, because I said, "Oh, I want to live on my own," and then she was like, "Oh, actually supposed to like stay with your parents till like marriage." I'm like, no.
I think it depends on like the culture also and the generation, you know, and more I feel like depending how independent you are. But some parents want you to stay in the house, of course, until you're married, and want to make sure you're okay. And
I feel like if you have the means to move out and you want to move out, you should move out. And like, what are you gonna do? They can't abandon you, right? You're literally just moving out. It's not end of the world. They'll get used to it. Hopefully you have siblings, so the transfer over. The pressure transfer.
Right, yeah.
And it cannot be like your tete or koko, like that.
Yeah, and also if you think that moving out is, you know, something that will help you in a certain way, you can explain to them that like, you know, moving out will allow me to be my own person. I will know how to do certain things on my own.
Because actually, you know, like it's a running joke when I was in university that Singaporean kids like don't know how to do laundry or like do their own like
do you know how to do?
I do, because when I went there, I learned how to do it, right?
Or like making up your own bed, little things like that.
And like putting on the comforter, the sheets.
Yeah, and then cleaning the table.
Yeah, that's how my UK friends were like, what the fuck, you don't know? I say, my mother does it for me. Then they start laughing. They're like, huh? You're like 22 and your mom still does your bed. I was like, oh. Okay, moving on. I feel upset over some things my parents did to me when I was younger. How do I bring it up constructively?
What kind of things?
Probably like abuse. Sounds like it's related to like
Verbal?
trauma. Yeah. For me, therapy helped me a lot. Obviously, growing up, my family wasn't stable because my mom's single mom, and we just had each other. So I had to grow up quite quickly, and also it allowed me to be a kind of person that holds my feelings back, because I needed to think of my mom, right? And through therapy, then I realized that this is not the right way. So I feel like you're probably in the stage of realizing that your parents did you dirty, and you have to communicate how they did you dirty. I don't know how your parents are, but my mom obviously was like, you're so ungrateful when I brought it up. But I also learned that my mom also did a lot for me. So you have to recognize like the pros that they did for you. So I'm assuming that they put you through school and like they paid for your food, house over your head. So I think parents also want to be appreciated end of the day. So I think to do it constructively, you should say the good things first. Yeah, and then like bring up some of the bad points that you're feeling and see where it goes from there. Because I think sometimes parents can be quite deflective of their mistakes.
Yeah.
Because it probably makes them feel like they didn't do a good enough job, and then it obviously affects their self-worth.
Yeah.
So you have to also like navigate that as well. But you're on the right path, so thumbs up.
I would relate to that quite differently. I would have like a middleman. Because growing up, being the only girl, like I feel that there was some kind of difference between my brothers and I. But also having like a middleman of like my godfather or my grandma, and having a family member that was quite close that I could talk to.
Help you see both sides,
Yeah, help
right?
me see both sides. And also if I wasn't comfortable to talk to my parents directly about something that was quite important and affecting me drastically, things like that, I would kind of ask them to help, share that with my parents.
How do I spend more time with my parents? I spend a lot of time with my mom now because I don't go out as much as I did before. So my life now is a bit more like calm. We hang out at home like watching like Korean shows together. So yeah, that's how I spend time with her. Like we have similar interests. So to me it doesn't feel like a chore.
I see. I mean, I think mine is quite different because my dad is always traveling, so I don't see him that much. And when he is at home, I think he's just usually just like chilling,
Tired, right?
Yeah, so to get time to spend with him is quite special, and usually that is through like dinners. We have family dinners when we can. Yeah, but my mom is home, so yeah, I guess we would watch shows and things like that. But I also realized that sometimes when you grow up, the relationship isn't the same when you're younger.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, we would be like really close. But now growing up, because I'm working more and things like that, it can be hard to find that connection again.
Yeah.
When I am going out and I feel like running errands or shopping, I'll ask her to come along if she wants to.
Oh yeah, that's
we get
cute.
facials together. So that is like a little bonding thing.
But if your parents are busy, I think it's like difficult. Like sometimes
Yeah.
your parents are always working, right?
It can be hard.
Yeah, it can be quite hard. So I think it's important to let them know that you want to spend time with them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to jump at the opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. The next question is, when is the right time to introduce my partner to my parents?
Ooh.
Now that I'm older, I kind of wait like 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was just like, whatever, just come over. It's like shared house.
For me, I don't know, I just have this feeling like I know when it's right, but I usually make sure that in the relationship I am comfortable with that person, and we've,
When it's
kind of
serious?
like, when it's a
Yeah.
little bit more serious, and I know that like, okay, I really like this person.
Slow and
then
steady.
like, oh, this is my friend.
Like, yeah, friend. Yeah, friend.
Then your
Yeah,
parents,
we all know, bro.
or like if you're going out, then it's like, oh, I'm going out with my friend. Then they're like, who? And then you explain, and then they're like, oh, okay. Then the
Yeah.
next time you bring over to dinner and it's like your boyfriend, they'll be like,
All right, next question. Oh, how did our parents feel about us pursuing non-traditional careers?
My parents were very supportive. Yeah, I think as long as, I did my studies, I passed and all that.
My mom used to work in advertising, so money is the most important, so she don't really care. She didn't work in like a traditional 9 to 5 as well. So my mom was a producer, and then like she started her own business. So she understands what I'm doing, and she never really like forced me to look into other aspects. I think she just only worries about like my mental health.
Like, what would you give as advice to people that maybe don't have such supportive parents and they just see like, oh, you have to be maybe a doctor or a lawyer or like, something that is stable?
I think it's gonna definitely cause friction between your parents, and if you understand that, after a while they see that you're happy in what you're doing and you can provide for yourself, they have to let go of that dream of you being a doctor or a lawyer. Because sometimes I feel like parents can project like, what they aspired as a kid, but they couldn't do it because of like lack of opportunities and stuff. They put it on their child. A lot of children feel the pressure to meet their expectation, and I don't find that healthy because you're just gonna live your life for your parents, and then your parents are happy obviously, which is great, but you're neglecting your own wants and needs.
But what I did was to always have a backup plan. You know, like when I wanted to do something creative, okay, I was still studying, so okay, I got a degree in psychology, and if my modeling or content creating or music didn't work out, like that is something that I could still do.
But at the end of the day, like if you're happy and like other people are putting you down for like your choices, they can't really take your happiness away. Obviously it does make you upset that people are not supportive, but I think once you internalize that this is something that I'm doing for myself, it's easier to let those comments slide. Last question. I feel like my parents are using me as a retirement plan.
Oh. To an extent.
Kind of, right? I think it's like a filial piety thing.
Do you think that you are your parents' investment, right?
Yeah. I used to be on the fence about giving my mom money every month. You know, like it's quite common, right? But now I do, and like I pay for things around the house. I think the term like retirement plan is quite harsh. I mean, not harsh that you said that, but I think if you feel like that, it's quite stressful because I feel you have to prioritize your parents over your own needs and wants.
Yeah, and I think that's a feeling that some children can feel, especially like the older sibling maybe, that there's a lot of pressure to take care of the parents. If they can't work anymore and they're depending maybe on their savings, they just want to make sure that if anything goes wrong, you'll still be there for them. I mean, there's so many parents out there who are like older and they still have to work.
Yeah.
Because they need to sustain their life. And I think that's why when they look towards their children, they hope that their children can help to
return the favor
in a way. And I think that is important to see. But of course, it's important to also see the sides if your parents are taking advantage of you. That's a different story.
To close off, I would just like to say that parents are human too, so remember to be nice to them.
They're figuring life out too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they also don't know lah. You don't know, I don't know. Everybody don't know. You know?
Everybody's still learning, and you know, if you're trying to get closer maybe to your parents, like don't be afraid to voice out your concerns because they just want to be there for you as well and to make sure everything's okay. But if you are kind of shy and sometimes like me and just need a middleman, like, you know, reach out to family members and maybe they can help you if you feel more comfortable with that also.
It's hard to communicate with your parents, but communication is key to any relationship. Obviously, I'm assuming that everything is all okay under the hood, but if it's not, it's important to have boundaries with your parents, and if you don't feel safe at home, it's something that you should take into consideration.
And reach out for help if you need.
Reach out for help. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and much thanks to Iman for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, and if you're looking for a pick-me-up song, my latest single, Baseball Bat, is out now on all music streaming platforms. Don't forget to also like, share, and subscribe.
Comment down below if you have any worries or concerns. Bye!